Around, don't get caught in the mosh pit. Fuel to the fire, ain't nobody can stop it. Trouble in my city, but you know I'm across it. Got a 40 on my hip and I'm liable to spark it. Throw down these hits, my click is indivisible. I aim, you duck, I squeeze, now you invisible. I'm not afraid of getting physical. All these different chemicals are fogging up my visuals. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Yo, we notorious, we ain't no runners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Yo, we some warriors, they ain't called gunners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Put on my sweat, put on the beat, put on the map, put on my team. Take out every motherfucker in between, know what I mean? Better myself, better my aim, better my rep, better my name. Killing rappers on my hang, I'm by their chains for the fame. Never thought I would, and now I'm running. You don't wanna follow me, I'm like looking for.
What's going on? What's going on? Good evening, and welcome to another broadcast of Steve the Kidney Nurse. I am your host, Steve Belcher. It's been like 3 days in a row that I've been live going over some, I believe, some great informational stuff pertaining to kidney disease and not just and anyone else like anemia. That can apply to anybody outside of kidney disease. So it's been a great 3 days of education. And tonight, we're going to talk about what a lot of patients don't even think about, don't know, their family member. Then you got some patients who do. They keep up with their labs. They make sure they're making their clearance. But one, because there's multiple tests. When we do the monthly test, the monthly lab test, you know, we checking out your hemoglobin, your calcium, your phosphorus, your potassium, your BUN, your creatinine, and a bunch of other stuff, okay? But it's two tests, but one I'm talking about tonight is KT over V, and then the other one is URR, urea reduction ratio, okay? But tonight, we're talking about KT over V and what it is. Because if you just started dialysis, even if you do PD, home dialysis, or even hemodialysis, you want to know each month you do labs. And then that's how they determine if you're getting a good clearance or you're on the right prescription. As they call it, a dose of dialysis. And I want to, before I get into it, thank my TikTok crew watching. We got 50 strong watching. And I'm very proud of you guys. Thank you for sticking around and hearing the information. You know, like the Bible verse says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Now, if you just started dialysis and you're in a clinic like over in Kenya, I have a friend, brother over there, brother Moses Kennedy. He's the head of he's on, go to his page on TikTok. He's the kidney ambassador, and he's also the moderator and the page administrator for the FIGO initiative. on Facebook. Now, these are brothers and sisters over in Kenya that go to dialysis, and they're getting a disservice. They're only allowed to go twice a week for 4 hours. And everything else they got to pay out of their pocket. If they want epogen or they want iron, they got to pay for this out of their pocket. It's not covered under Medicare. It ain't like that over there. So they don't even have a dietitian and a social worker. So something like this would be very important to these guys, because now they know what to measure to see what's going on, why they may be feeling the way they feel. They may probably not getting enough dialysis. 4 hours, 2 days a week. All right, so let's talk about what is KT over V. We all know, and if you don't know, healthy kidneys work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to clean the blood. Now, when the kidneys start working, that's when you got to go to renal treatment therapy, whether it's peritoneal through your belly or whether it's hemodialysis through the artificial kidney. You have to do some form of kidney dialysis therapy. All right. Now, dialysis, right? Unfortunately, dialysis can only do some of the work. It can't be your biological kidney and do 100% as your natural kidney does. Dialysis can only do some of the work. That's why they say the art of medicine is not an exact science. The art of medicine is not an exact science. So there's a lab test that we're going to talk about called KT over V. You're like, Steve, what KT over V? You keep talking about it. Spit it out. So this test, KT over V, shows how well blood is cleaned during dialysis treatment. Now, a lot of stuff impacts how your blood is cleaned during dialysis. And one of the things that impacts that, and I'm not trying to discourage anyone if you got a catheter, but I'm just speaking truth. I mean, if you got to have a catheter, you got to have a catheter, but you got to make sure in other ways that you get it cleansed. But having this in your neck has an effect on the KT over V, because this is man-made. This is not your natural vein, okay? And so if you have one of these and you're having issues like they got to turn the blood pump down because they say, oh, it's not running right, or they got to switch the lines. Well, you know what I'm talking about. If you got one of these, they come up to you, hey, we got to reverse the line. It's not running right. Or they may tell you turn over to the side, or they may come and want to flush it because it's not working. Hey, Mr. Smith, your catheter is not working right. You keep hearing the machine going off, wondering what the hell is going on. And the catheter is going off, and that technician coming over, oh, man. And you can feel the energy. They're doing that because they got to deal with the situation now. Because a lot of times they want to put on and go sit down and get on the phone. Now it's like creating more work, because now they got to go figure out how to get this catheter to run. And then when they can't get it, they come and bother me. And then I come over there, right? And then if the unit has it, I'll use this, what's called calf flow. Okay? It's like a streptokinase, a clot buster. We mix it up. It comes in a powder, and we add sterile water to it. Then we twirl it. Oh, I don't have a bottle in here, but the bottle is small. Thought I had it around here, but we twirl it up. Oh, here you go. Right here. Activates. We twirl it up, and then we use a 3C syringe, draw out the medication, and instill it in whichever limb is impacted, where we're not getting any blood out of it. We can't we call it aspirate. We aspirating blood. We put it in there, and the patient literally sits there for 45 minutes to an hour. You're not getting any treatment. You're just sitting there waiting. Like, damn. Like, my God, man, I could be going home. Nothing's happening, but the medicine is doing its work. And what it's doing is, like, these holes right here is what clogs up. These holes right here at the end of the catheter, because it's sitting in a vessel. And blood, we all know, if you have any foreign body inside your veins, just like if you get a stent, pacemaker, or whatever, they want to give you blood thinners, because they know that anything foreign in your body, blood is going to cling to it, and the blood thinner helps your blood like loose, so it doesn't cling or stick or clot, cling to that piece. And in this case, these holes. So you're sitting there 45 minutes to an hour. We come back, we withdraw, and we're able to aspirate blood. We start treatment. But if you have issues with this, and they got to constantly turn the blood flow rate down, and when they do the lab draw at the end of the month, your KT over V could come back poor. All right. So let's look at the acronym, right? So you'll know if you're also getting enough dialysis, because this determines if you're getting enough dialysis, bar none. You got some people who supposed to run 4 hours, they get off at 3.5. They're like, man, hell with that. I'll sign the paper. Got some people who don't show up. Got some people who stay for a short period. And you got some people that stay the whole time. But why do you need to know your KT over V number? Let's look at the acronym KT/over V. Again, it's a test that determines if you are getting enough dialysis. And with adequate dialysis, you feel better and you live a longer life. Plain and simple. You may see some people want to know why they always itching, or why their skin got dark, or why their hair falling out. Because you're not getting enough dialysis. Maybe wondering why you got this taste in your mouth. May taste like metallic. May start feeling like you did when you first got sick. Because you're not getting enough dialysis. Especially if you got this, or if you got an access in your arm that they always having trouble with, and you can't maintain the blood flow rate. So K stands for how much urea or waste is removed by the dialyzer. See, this is a formula that these doctors use. So again, K in the KT over V is how much urea or waste, the waste product that you pee out, is removed by this guy right here, the dialyzer. The T in KT stands for the time or number of minutes you are dialyzed. Is it 4 hours? Is it 3.5? but they do it by minutes. Like 210 minutes is 3.5 hours. It's 60 minutes in an hour. And the V of KT over V is the volume of urea in your body, your blood, urine, or body fluids. And so they, these organizations where they monitor quality, the patient's getting enough treatment, like what's considered a good dialysis, they set a base of 1.2. They consider you getting a quality dialysis. So a KT over V of 1.2 or higher means that you are getting adequate dialysis. Now, you see people doing home dialysis be doing 3, 5, 6 hours, or people who do the treatment nocturnal at night be doing 6, 7, 8 hours. These guys have a KT over V of 2.8, 3. And do you know what that means to have a KT over V of 2.8 or greater than 3? You damn near having same numbers as someone had a transplant or better. I seen doctors in Houston, patients running 6, 7 hours, they get their labs back, their KT over V is 3 or more, 2.75. Doctor taking them off all their medicines. Like, what? Yeah, took them off all their medicines, blood pressure and all. Because see, when you dialyze longer, it's like a sled. It's a slower treatment. Everything slows down. So you're not going to feel like in the clinic when they're trying to pull off 3 to 5 liters in 3.5 hours. Of course you're going to cramp. But if you was at home or you did nocturnal, now if you do 3 to 4 liters, you're doing it over 8 hours, you're only pulling off maybe 600 cc's an hour. You're not pulling off 1.3 liters. That's like one of these bags right here. And 300 or more, you're pulling off an hour in a shorter period of time. That's why they advocate for the home dialysis. Not just PD, but home hemo, because you can do it whenever you want and how long you want. Now you can customize your treatment. But not everybody can do it at home, and that's understandable. So a KT over V of 1.2 or higher means that you're getting adequate dialysis. Now, let's look at what happens if you're not getting enough dialysis. You may be on TikTok or Facebook and you see people on dialysis. I've seen it on TikTok. And, I'm not going to call out names for privacy reasons, but you see certain people in the unit running on dialysis or at home doing peritoneal or home dialysis. And you're like, wow, that looks great. You're doing dialysis, But what happens, which a lot of people don't even think about. You don't even think about this, but I'm here to tell you today on this education of know your KT over V. And if you're getting enough dialysis, or if your parents or your spouse or someone you know that you're a caregiver to is getting the right treatment, because that can have an impact on the quality of their life. So what happens if you're not getting enough dialysis? If your KT over V is below 1.2, that's the bare minimum, 1.2. But if your KT over V, which is a test, every month they look at the KT over V and the URR to see if you get enough dialysis. If your KT over V is below 1.2, over time, you may start to feel sick. Okay? You may have loss of appetite. 1 minute, you're feeling good, you're eating swell, and let's just say you got a catheter. Now it's starting to, it's running well for a minute, and now it's starting to act up. They can't run you on your 400 blood flow rate anymore. You see the pump over here? They can't run you at 400 anymore. They got to reduce the rate because maybe your vein is collapsing because you have multiple catheters. And then now the next minute, you don't have no appetite. You have nausea, you're vomiting. You damn near may think you got COVID. You may also have problems with insomnia. And then on top of that, if you're not getting a good dialysis, fluid can build up in your legs, your lungs, and your feet. And we all know it's like, oh, I ain't gonna grab the pillow, but you be at home trying to rest, and you sleep laying flat on the bed. Next thing you know, you jump up because, oh man, I can't breathe. Because it's the fluid in the lungs. And then you're trying to go to sleep. You got to put 3 and 4 pillows behind you and try to fall asleep. And next thing you know, you go to the hospital, you short of breath, and they want to put the oxygen tubing on you. You're like, what's going on? We got to do this because you're short of breath. And we got to call and get you a dialysis treatment. They got this on, or you got the mask on. Because now it's a possibility you can go in respiratory distress. He'd be like, no, listen, whatever you do, don't put that tube down my throat. How many warriors had the tube down their throat? Been intubated. That's what they call it. So, you may get fluid overload because you're not getting enough treatment. And that can make you feel short of breath and tired. You may also start to feel depressed. Yes, if you're not getting enough treatment, the toxins can build up in your system and you can start feeling sick like you did when you first got diagnosed because you're not clearing the waste out of your blood or your family member. And you may say, oh, wow, I got dialysis brain fog. No, maybe you're not getting enough treatment. Let's look at don't just blame it on that because you have kidney disease and that it may be brain fog, even though that's part of it, but a lot of times it's part of it because of the buildup of waste. I got kidney disease, stage 2. I don't have brain fog. The brain fog comes from the buildup of uremia and toxin. Like, Steve, what the hell is uremia? Well, if you look at UR and you know about urine, uremia is part of urine. So and some people, I used to, like back in the 80s, when they really was getting these treatments down packed and stuff, you used to see older people, and you may have seen this in your grandparents or somebody. They may have had white hair, and then around the edge of the hairline, it was yellow. That yellow was urine coming through the skin. And you may have somebody who has severe kidney damage and not know it, and then they start smelling urine, or maybe someone of their family members like, did you pee in your pants or something? No, the urine is coming through the skin. It's coming through the pores. That's the waste building up in the blood. Your kidneys are no longer working. It ain't no goddamn tea going to take care of that when those symptoms get like that. So that's why I said, and this is just a side note, I'm all for alternative health and Eastern medicine and some herbs and spices. But when you got people that say that this can reverse, and they know even had a damn disease, and you sitting there having all these symptoms, you can't urinate, you feel like you got a urine, and it's just not coming out, your feet are swollen, you can't breathe, you sitting up at night with 3-4 pillows, you feel tired, and you take a tea. When is it going to work? You still feeling the symptoms. The only thing it did is just put more fluid on you. And now you can't urinate, you got all this fluid. Now you're going to the emergency room because whatever you tried didn't work. And you done spent your hard-earned money. You done spent your money. It ain't like this shit is free now. Everybody's trying to hold on to that dollar. You go out and look at the grocery market, got darn eggs, $8 for a dozen. Nobody ain't got time to play with their health now. And so that's why I'm doing these, because you may find yourself at a clinic, whether it's overseas or whether here in the United States. You may just start new, and the clinic where you're at may be short of staff, and nobody got time really to sit down and tell you how to look at your labs. Hell, even the dietitian may just come and say, give you some basic shit and then keep it moving, because they taking care of 100 and some odd other people. You may be even lucky you don't fall through the cracks. So here's what it says. If you have a KT over V of 1.2 or lower, if you're not getting enough dialysis, you may start to feel depressed, confused. That's where they say the brain fog. That's the confusion, because you're not getting enough dialysis. Or forgetful. Not every patient experienced this, especially the ones that are getting great KT over Vs and they got the dialysis down to a science. But if you're not getting enough treatment, all right, and I want to tell you what goes hand in hand with this. The blood flow rate. Your access. Is your access working right? If you got one in your arm, or because you can have one in your arm and it could be recirculating. Meaning your blood is recirculating. It's not getting clean because of the way the surgeon did the surgery. Or it could be one of these. And when you have this in long term, it's going to start to wear down. You may have to get a couple of exchanges throughout your usage of one of these. So now listen to this again. You may start to feel depressed, confused, or forgetful if you're not getting enough dialysis over a period of time. Without enough dialysis over a period of time, just going to be straightforward, there is a higher risk of hospitalization and death. There's a higher risk of hospitalization and death without enough dialysis over a period of time. So if you got somebody, you get mad at the staff, forget y'all, take me off. Okay, yeah, I signed the paper. I ain't signing shit. Okay. Patient refused to sign AMA. Return you back. You done got off an hour early. And this may be a pattern. The next thing you know, you coming in one day feeling sluggish, don't know what's going on, feet then got swollen, out of breath, you come in like that, we're either going to send you 911 or they may dialyze you and see what happens afterwards. So how can you make sure if you're getting enough dialysis or your loved one? Again, you could be a caretaker and you're taking somebody to dialysis, maybe your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you driving, yeah, y'all going to dialysis, you pull up, and they get out the car, get the dialysis bag out the car, close the door, kiss them, see you, honey, and you driving off. Not really getting involved in their treatment plan. Kidney disease is a family affair. It's a family affair. Kidney disease not only impacts the person dealing with the disease, it impacts the whole family. So you can't, or you shouldn't, I ain't gonna say you can't, but you shouldn't, if you have a family, deal with this disease alone. Don't isolate yourself. So how can you make sure if you're getting enough dialysis or your loved one or whoever you know that's getting dialysis? Be sure that you or them are on time for every dialysis session. That's very important because let me tell you, if they say be there at 6 or whatever your time, because if you late, if you come an hour after the time you supposed to be there and you got a lot of fluid on, you SOL. You SOL. And those who don't know, you shit out of luck. I keep it 100 here. And the reason why I say that, because if you're supposed to have been there at 3, and that's what time the shift start, and you remember the documents I talked about in the consent form? Because in that, you said that you would be at your treatment on time. And if you wasn't, that you're going to call. Yes, you signed that, acknowledging that's what you would do. A lot of patients don't do that. It's a no call, no show. We call them, shit, go straight to voicemail. So if you come late, they're going to cut your time. So if you're a patient that runs 4 hours and you gain a lot of fluid between treatment and you know it, they're not going to spare you no mercy. You late. Okay. Because they got to get the next person in that chair. The next person got to go there. And so now you're like, damn, I only got 3 hours of my 4 hours. You still got 1-2 liters of fluid on you. And you can feel it. Yeah, even on holidays. As my man say, real spit. On holidays, they may cut your time. You may be 4 hours, 4:45, maybe 5. And they cut your time to 3 hours. They run everybody 3 hours so the staff can get out and go home. You saying what? They cut your time then, and if you're late, they cut your time. You see the hypocrisy in that? And you still get charged. Whether you do 4 hours that the doctor ordered or 3 hours, they still going to get their money. You just got shorted an hour of a life-saving treatment that everybody says this is. If it's a life-saving treatment, why are they cutting your time on a holiday? What the hell does a holiday have to do with you receiving life-sustaining treatment and getting your ordered hours that the doctor ordered for you? Not every place does this, but a damn sure a lot of them do. And you may think, oh man, that's great. I only get to run 3 hours of my treatment. You may be 4 hours and don't like it. But you gotta change that mindset. The more dialysis, the better you're gonna feel. Not unless you're still urinating a lot of fluid. But if you're not peeing no more and you're gaining a lot of fluid, and you know, then the more treatment, the better. But when it comes to time when now you running late because it's no fault of your own. Maybe you left out early and the goddamn bus that picks you up was late. Here they call it Metro Access or MTA in Baltimore. I don't know, it could be something else in your city in New Jersey somewhere, the transit special bus. I don't know. But let's say they had a flat tire. Now, that person, that bus driver got a flat, all the people that's on the route, they may have to call another bus out. Now that all kind of shit got to get rearranged, and they pick you up an hour, 2 hours at the original time. They didn't outrun you your 4 time. And you be like, wait a minute, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault that I was late. Yeah, I know, but we got to put the other patient on. That happens. So, again, how to make sure that you get enough dialysis. Be sure to be on time for every treatment session. Missing only 5 minutes of each treatment for 1 year adds up to 3 whole missed treatments. That's 1 week's worth. Missing 5 minutes of each treatment for 1 year adds up to 3 whole missed treatments. That's 1 week of treatment. Also, if your KT over V is less than 1.2, Talk to your doctor about what needs to be done to improve it. Don't just say, oh, dietitian come to you and say, oh, your K2 over V is 0.98 or 8.9, and you're feeling horrible. You want to know, damn, why am I feeling so bad? Because your KT over V is low. You got to build up a waste in your system. So I say, talk to your doctor and figure out what the hell is going on so you can improve the KT over V. You may need a test. They may need to look at your fistula or graph to see if it's working well, to make sure your access is not narrowing. Because if you got small veins and you got a fistula, which is an AV fistula, a vein, sew your two veins together to create an access, you can get narrowing, especially if you got diabetes. And if you got narrowing in your access, that can have an impact on if you're getting a good clearance or not. You may need to have a higher blood flow rate. And what I mean by blood flow rate, on this picture, I'm pointing to my phone and TikTok because I have a green screen up of a dialysis machine. This is the blood pump right there. That may need to be increased. Also, you got to take good care of your access, whether you got a graft, fistula, or you got a catheter. You got to take good care of it. Also, again, I said this before, check with the nurse or the patient care therapist to make sure that your machine reaches the prescribed blood flow rate. Every patient may have the same or different blood flow rate, BFR. That's the pump speed that pulls the blood from your vein, and it goes through the dialysis lines into the filter. Also, if you have a catheter, one of these, or if your loved one, they may have one of these. Talk to a doctor. They may, now, I want to read what they got on the paper, and then I want to tell you my opinion. It says, if you have a catheter, talk with your doctor about having a fistula or graft placed for better dialysis. Blood flow rate must be slower with the catheter, but you can run them higher too. But let me say this about having this and getting surgery. I've been seeing lately a lot of patients when they start dialysis, even on TikTok and the live, or even working at clinics, when someone starts, they give them an appointment to go see a vascular surgeon. In my opinion with that, I would wait. Okay? Don't feel pressured or rush into, or even feel like, don't let them guilt trip you into going to see the surgeon right away, because you're still getting adjusted to this whole dialysis process. Now you got another, trauma event put you in a situation of going now and getting something cut in your arm that may or may not develop, and now you gotta get stuck with needles. All right, let me see. Hold up. For a lot of people who may not have seen the dialysis needles, this is how they look like. This is a 16 gauge needle. All right. And patients are getting stuck with these two, one in one part, one in another, 3 times a week. So it's different. So what I was going to say though, I feel like when you're ready, don't wait too long, but when you're ready, go talk to the surgeon about the vein mapping. Because if you can get an access, you would get a better treatment than having this. But I can understand if you want to keep this because you ain't got to get stuck with the needle. But at some point, this could damage that large vein up there. Now, with some people, they just have to have this because their veins are gone. They can't put no access in their arms. So they need a catheter either up here or in the groin area. All right. Also, talk to your dietitian if you can, or reach out to one of the ones on TikTok or Instagram. I'm going to have dietitian on Tuesday, Kelsey Reed. We're going to be talking about the Southern diet. Excuse me. We're going to be talking about the Southern diet and kidney disease. So a lot of kidney warriors and people who live in the South, they're still eating a Southern fried diet that are at increased risk for kidney disease. So if you're watching this from TikTok and you live in the South and you're eating a Southern fried diet, you may want to watch this show this Tuesday. I'm not going to be TikTok live because I want to have a guest on. We're going to be on YouTube and Facebook. So go hit my YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed so you can get, as they say, that notification. And so again, let me just go over some suggestions again to help you keep or to get a KTV goal and range or more than 1.2. Again, come and stay your full treatment. Stay in full treatment, allow more blood to be clean. You remember healthy kidneys clean blood 24 hours, 7 days a week. Dialysis can only do so much. This only could do so much. Okay? This only could do so much. Use the bathroom before your treatment start. And this is why. You got some patients that may have to go to the bathroom, may have to have a bowel movement or urinate, right? And they get off and go. But let me tell you what happens, and you don't even know about it. When that happens, the technician, when they take you off and you go to the bathroom, they're supposed to pause the treatment on the machine. Yes, they're supposed to pause the treatment while you go to the restroom, and when you come back, they're supposed to restart the treatment so you can get all your treatment. So you go, oh, Steve, what that mean? What that means is while you going to the bathroom, the machine is running like you still having a treatment. It's counting down like you having a treatment. So when you come back on, it may have took off 500 cc's, or that's what the counter says, but it wasn't no 500 cc's out of your blood. You in the bathroom. It's pulling the fluid from the bag. Then you come back on, you get on dialysis, You run your treatment. When you get off, you want to know why you ain't take off all the fluid. And they say, you remember you came off and you went to the bathroom. Yeah, but you're supposed to make adjustments for that. So as I end the YouTube and Facebook segment, I'm going to stay on TikTok. Use the restroom before treatment starts. If you have a fistula graft, allows for blood to be cleaned better than the catheter. And that's facts. As they say, that's no cap. And then also follow a fluid and sodium restriction, which I can imagine is hard, but you can do it. Other warriors have done it. And again, a low KT over V less than 1.2 may result in itchy skin, swollen feet or legs, difficulty sleeping, decreased appetite, shortness of breath, fatigue or depression, and irregular heartbeat. Most importantly, I have to emphasize, getting enough dialysis will help you live long and well. Trust me. Trust me, getting enough dialysis will definitely have you living long and well. Let me see, I got somebody comment from Facebook. Angela Mason, what's going on, beloved? Thank you for comment. I didn't know what KT over V meant. Yeah, KT over V is a test that determines if you are getting enough dialysis with adequate dialysis, as I just said, you feel better and live a longer life. The K in the KT over V is how much urea is removed by the dialyzer, this device right here. The T in KT is the time or number of minutes you are dialyzed. And the V is the volume of urea in your body or blood. Now, what's the next question? She says, is it necessary to have a transplant if your KT over V is good? So Angela asked, is it necessary to have a transplant if your KT over V is good? It's not necessary. Remember, transplant is a treatment option. Just like dialysis, like hemo, outpatient, that's a treatment option. Peritoneal, treatment option. Transplant, treatment option. No treatment is a treatment option. If you don't want to go to dialysis, that's a treatment option right there, because they're going to treat you differently. So that's a decision based on you. That's a decision based on you. Thank you for this information. Very much needed for me. Going on, is that 8 years? Going on 8 years of not knowing this. It looked like 3. Let me scratch my screen. Oh, damn. 8 years for real? The dietitian didn't go over with you? Wow. See, this is what I'm talking about. Angela Mason didn't know about the KT over V. 8 years. Kidney warrior on dialysis. Like I'm saying, some places the dietitian don't do nothing because they so swamped with patients. Yeah, I'm so sorry for that, Angela. And I hope you can keep coming back. Like they say in the meetings, keep coming back to get more information. Like you say, more will be revealed. So if you know about, not everybody knows about Narcotics Anonymous or Alcohol Anonymous. Oh, 3 different companies. Wow. But in these NA or AA, they have a saying, keep coming back, especially if you're new in recovery. Keep coming back to get the information. And as they say, you keep coming back, more will be revealed. It's the same here. Keep coming back. Keep coming back, and more will be revealed. The only difference is you ain't got to work no steps here. It ain't no 12-step process. So going over to TikTok, because I'm getting ready to end this and just talk for a little while on TikTok like I normally do and answer some questions and look through the comments for a little while and try to clean up this mess that I got around here that you can't see around the table. But yeah, so again, if you go to dialysis, are you getting enough dialysis? Know what your KT over V is. When they draw each month, ask the dietitian, what's my KT over V? What's my URR? And if your KT over V is less than 1.2, like 0.9 or 0.8, and you've been feeling bad, like some of the symptoms I said, like having really itchy skin, and say your phosphorus is low. Like you say, I'm itching, damn. And you're like, my phosphorus is good. Why am I still itching? Well, what's your KT over V? Are you getting enough dialysis? Swollen feet, ankles, decreased appetite, shortness of breath, fatigue or depression, irregular heartbeat. These are all symptoms of a low KT over V, which indicates you're getting enough dialysis, you're cleaning. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining the show on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the lookout for the next Education Moment show. And as always, stay safe and blessed. And come on over to TikTok for a moment and join the fun. All right? With that being said, stay blessed and encouraged. Peace.
Warriors around, don't get caught in the mosh pit. Fuel to the fire, ain't nobody can stop it. Trouble in my city, but you know I'm across it. Got a 40 on my hip and I'm liable to spark it. Throw down these hits, my click is indivisible. I aim, you duck, I squeeze, now you invisible. I'm not afraid of getting physical. All these different chemicals are fogging up my visuals. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Yo, we notorious, we ain't no runners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Yo, we some warriors, they ain't called gunners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Put on my sweat, put on the beat, put on the map, put on my team. Take out every motherfucker in between. Know what I mean? Better myself, better my aim, better my rep, better my name. Killing rappers on my hang, I'm by their chains for the fame. Never thought I would it, now I'm running.